Q2.
Dr. Geeta ma'am, please come up for the felicitation. And I request Dr. Shweta to please come up for the felicitation. Sir, please. And I now respectfully invite the session chair, Professor Gucharan Kaur ma'am, to kindly introduce our first distinguished speaker, Dr. Geeta Dharmatina.
Welcome to the session, and I'm honored to introduce our distinguished speaker, Dr. Geeta Dharmati. Dr. Geeta Dharmati is a highly distinguished registered dietitian and nutritionist having 25 years of experience in clinical practice, research and academia. She earned her PhD degree in food science and nutrition from Nagpur University and specialized in the area of cardiovascular risk factors in women. Dr. Dharmati is a pioneer in the field of nutrigenomics in India, and she is currently serving as Chief Nutrigenomic Counselor at Gene Support, where she is trying to bridge the gap between genetics and personalized dietary interventions. Dr. Dharmati has many awards, honors, and accolades to her credit. So without taking much time, I will now request Dr. Dharmati to please deliver her talk. Dr. Dharmati, please.
Thank you very much. Till the presentation gets loaded. Tired for the day? Yes. It's a long day and a wonderful technical sessions we had. The next session is about nutrition. I think nutrition, food is so much connected to us. Thank you, Amritsar. I've come from Pune, and Amritsar is so much about food and so much about the hospitality you give us. I'm really overwhelmed. Thank you, Dr. Pati. Thank you, my dear friend Shweta, who connected me to this institute. And Dr. Ravli, thank you. I am going to talk about nutrition. Nutrition is nourishment, food, and I was just talking with esteemed chair. Food is connect, food is happiness, food is social, and each one of us who are dietitian never think food is diet. When we eat food, people see our plates, and I tell them, don't see our plates. We are also human beings, we are connected to food. And I think suddenly the revolution of omics came into existence. And we thought, as the speakers had mentioned, food, bioavailability, connect, and how my body responds to that is also a very important thought process for each one of us to think. So my topic is very apt today, that one size fits all. That means if I'm looking at my plate and I'm comparing my plate with someone, he eats twice a day, he's losing weight. I also eat twice a day, I don't lose weight. So why is there a difference between the siblings of the same family who's having dyslipidemia, one brother same food kha raha hai, dusra brother wahi khana kha raha hai. But then why is there a change? So do you all feel that yes, it's time we personalize? It is, the dietitians have always been looking into a setup When they go into individual persons, tell them the diet, but that was more of medical nutrition therapy. It was illness, it was calorie counting, it was macros, it was micros, and suddenly today we said, no, each one of us is different. Let's calculate. Let's start realizing that what connects with me is more important. I'm a non-vegetarian, still I'm B12 deficit. Why is it so? Did you ever think of it? Why am I D3 deficit in a country like India where I'm ample of sunlight? And I think all these micros we haven't studied as a nutritionist. We only thought that our job is to calculate calories. And that's why I've written a book, It's Not Always Calories. Because calories, yes, energy is the base of our life. In and out of energy is what I'm looking at. But every molecule of energy, every molecule of food which enters my body, I want to know how the ATP is generated out of it. Have you any time realized, I think the molecular people talk more about biochemistry and we talk about calories. We talk about protein counting, and protein is the buzzword today all of us are looking at. But somewhere I've now started looking at, look, one molecule of glucose, when it enters my cell, it gives me 38 ATP. How does it come? It comes from enzymes, cofactors. I've never realized thiamine has to play, niacin has to play, riboflavin has to play a role in it. And when I'm looking at all these roles of small nutrients coming into picture, I'm connecting that it is not a play of just I'm eating food and I'm getting nourished. If my body is exposed to an environment of any kind of emotional stress, physical stress, illness stress, starvation stress, my requirement of energy increases. But I don't look at filling up the gap of the micros, the bioavailable antioxidants. I've never thought of it. Dal chawal khao, khush raho. But the dal chawal has changed its format to chawal pe dal. Dal mein chawal nahi hai. What does it mean, friends? Right? In a plate of rice you add dal, and I've been sitting here from 4 to 5 hours from morning. I didn't move at all. What is the challenge? The challenge expenditure has decreased, and I've not improved my intake. I mean, I'm the same. My mother told me, don't count food till you eat. I'm sure my Japanese friend will relate when you eat in India, that you eat till you're full. You eat till you're satisfied. So that satisfaction, fullness comes from my childhood, the way I've been brought up by my parents, and I teach the same to my children. I don't expect people to count calories, but I'm here to teach you how to count calories as a nutritionist. Look at the irony. So there's something different which we have to learn today, going ahead as functional medicine, functional nutrition, nutrigenomics, nutrigenetics, lifestyle modification. We can name it in any way we want. We are counselors. We are the ones who connect our human body with the environment. Like the previous speakers also told us that the environment is just not food. It talks about the health, it talks about your sleep, exercise, and so on and so forth. So let me give you what I do. I'm a genomic counselor. Now what does a genomic counselor mean? Not a predictive counselor. I'm not a genetic expert, neither am I a molecular biologist, neither am I a biotechnologist. I'm a nutritionist. I've learned carbohydrate, protein, fats, food, etc. But now when this genetics is getting into with my food, it is integrated with my food. How am I decoding it? I love this example of caffeine. Caffeine needs to be detoxed by my body. Right? The RDA of caffeine is 300 milligrams. So in the world of baristas and Starbucks and all that, our caffeine intake has come from a small filter cup coffee to a bigger mug of coffee. And then we understand that one shot of coffee, espresso, is 80 milligrams of coffee. Each one of us is not very happy with coffee. Indians love chai, but there are very few coffeeholics too. But why this coffee is connected with someone and why some people do not like to drink coffee? Because the two genes, ADOR, and the caffeine gene called CYP1, these two genes, they tell me my tolerance with the caffeine. And that is why there are always confusing studies in nutrition where they try to tell me coffee is good for health, coffee is good for liver, Coffee is doing this, coffee is doing that. And patient comes and asks us, is coffee good for liver? Say, no, black coffee. Now, why black coffee? What is there in black coffee? Look at the ingredients of black coffee you can see on the screen. It is magnesium, caffeine, diaperonoids, polyphenols, flavonoids, potassium, aliphatic acids, and caffeine. So it has more antioxidants and it also has caffeine. Now, caffeine is a molecule which needs to be detoxed by my body. And liver has to undergo a process of phase 1 detox and a phase 2 detox. And while doing a detoxification process, look at the molecule of caffeine. It is 1,3,7-trimethylxanthine. Now this 1,3,7-trimethylxanthine gets again converted into my liver in phase 1 as paraxanthine maximum part, theobromine and theophylline. So when I know that this has to be now converted into phase 1 detox to a fat-soluble molecule, then to what is, because it is in my blood only for 20 minutes. After that, my liver takes up the job of detoxing the caffeine. And if I have a good CYP1 gene, CYP1 is a cytochrome P450 set of genes which do a good job of detoxification. It is a gene which pharmacogenomics is coming up with to understand what kind of drugs suit you. So genomics, molecular science is everywhere. And it tells me, look, you're a fast metabolizer of coffee, you can around say have 3 to 4 cups of coffee. If you are a moderate, if you have a variant here, you're a slow. So this is the studies which have come up in preventive genomics, which is connecting me to the food like gluten, peanut, lactose. Coffee is one of the area, but it tries to tell me that how the food behaves with you. Everybody is not same when it behaves in the food. Why the gluten era has come up. And I think all of you grew up in Punjab eating roti. Roti is your staple. At least in Maharashtra, we eat jawar ki roti and we have a lot of millets there. South comes with a lot of rice. But all of you say stop eating gluten. And you're forced to eat some other millet. Maize will be your second one, makke ki roti. But maize is also an allergen. It's called zeen. So are we stopping all these nutrients in my diet? Who's the culprit? Is my mother the culprit who's been training me to eat this? Or my own self? It is the way my body is reacting to the exposome, we call it, because of the environment. The next speaker will definitely highlight the gut dysbiosis here. But the preventive genomics has taught me to identify a set of genes. In Human Genome Study 1990 to 2000, they've done this job of identifying the set of genes, and now I think India also has a very good genomic bank. A genetics expert will help to identify those genes. We will try to see and make it more personalized. Now this is called as personalized nutrition. So personalized nutrition today is a big world. Your AI tools, your microbiomics, your metabolomics. It's a very expensive test today in India, but it's a real-time data of your enzymes which come out. Like you can identify your kinase, all the enzymes which talk about. So generally it's done for athletes most of the times, or in a very chronic ill patient like cancer or autoimmune, just to understand what supplementation can be given. So why am I talking all this? I think nutraceuticals is what we've just heard. We are looking at molecules which will try look at my genomics from food point of view. So foodomics is something I'm trying to integrate with my genomics. I will try to see how bioavailable molecule of food will help me. Interesting to note the curcumin molecule. If I take a curcumin molecule, my liver, if phase 2 detoxification is not good with my liver, the glutathione production area, I think the curcumin molecule cannot be metabolized by my body. Haldi will not have a lot of curcumin. It will have very small amount of curcumin, which very beautifully in our culinary practice we add it in our food. But if I take a curcumin supplement, it has significant amount of curcumin molecule and it may not be good for my liver to detox. So this connection of which nutraceutical suits me is very important. As few speakers in the afternoon session said that we are looking at, I think Dr. Guruchan Singh ma'am somebody said, that we are looking at holistic approach. We have a doctor who talks only about that organ, Dietitians talk about giving a diet to the diet for that area. For example, a renal diet. Do's and don'ts for renal diet. And suppose a patient has diabetes. Patient says, namak bhi nahi khana hai, shakar bhi nahi khana hai, so bacha kya hai mere liye? And food is connected to us. Hawa and pani. But we don't live like that. We enjoy the connected food. And that's why I think it's important we identify the stressors in our body. Is it an inflammatory stress? Is it an oxidative stress? Or it's a simple, majoritarily visceral fat or obesity stress which creates that kind of a challenge in my body. I mean, if your diabetes is because of visceral fat, I will say work on fat loss rather than working on diabetes. Your insulin will be corrected because you have type 2 insulin resistance. So the nutritionists have to start gearing up to look at functional nutrition more than looking at a disease-based nutrition. I'm sure doctors will agree with me here that when I'm looking at the root cause of what the illness has come up, my job becomes more easy, the patient handling it because today we are not in the era of saying do's and don'ts. We are in an era of saying how much food, which food, and when food, a chrononutrition, rather than saying ye khao, ye mat khao. I mean, there's no point in telling a diabetic it's chakar mat khao, aloo mat khao, khane wala hai. But the way you express and communicate it, how much, depends upon the way you're looking at the holistic approach towards your area. So the nutrigenomics, the precision plates now come with gene-nutrient interaction because that comes from the report. I'm going to show you a demo report, how we do it. Microbial metabolism, what kind of inflammatory or hormonal status I have, chrononutrition, and the SNPs which I look at, genetic polymorphism. So precision nutrition or personalized nutrition is becoming very dynamic now because I have so much changing every day in my nutrition prescription. So I've started looking my screening. Screening is the patient profile when we take A, B, C, D is what we used to do. A is anthropometry, B is biochemical, C is clinical, D is dietary. I used to take this information before I get a diet chart. Now I'm doing E, E is environment. I'm doing F, F is food sensitivity, IgG, IgE. I'm doing G, genomics and gut microbiome. So this is what is giving me an idea of what a personalized or a precision area I have to attack in every patient's health. So these are the new terminologies I'm learning with my nutrition science. Personalization of the diet which comes with A, B, C, D, E, F, G double square. Nutrigenetics is application of my functional foods or the supplementations which I have to give. If my liver detox phase 2 is not working well, I will not give curcumin supplements. So this is what I'll come to know. Methylation is a very beautiful part of genomics which we learn. A vegetarian, I'll just take two more minutes. A vegetarian will have to look at hyperuricemia. Kya protein kam karoge uska? Right? If he's B12 deficit, he's having more of oxidative stress, the purine in the diet, that gives him hyperuricemia. A simple solution of giving B12, B6, B9 together can help hyperuricemia in the medical management of the patient. So this is the way we start looking at the area of illness. So definitely we know genes load the gut, but the environment pulls the trigger. I may not blame genes saying that my parents are obese, that is why I'm obese. I have 90% control in me where I can look at the obesity much better. So that genes is what I think we have started looking as responders versus non-responders. And hence nutrigenetics and nutrigenomics are two sides of same coin. And I think it's the way we start looking at connecting epigenomics, connecting the phenotype, connecting all the dynamics of methylation and the areas of the cells, which I will start looking at the diet as gene expression modulator. Who will not like to have modulation in the food first policy and then go for nutraceuticals, and then you start looking at the medical management with CSIR and all those doing a lot of work in the phytonutrients. And when see the berries modulating your Alzheimer's, why are we not looking at those molecules coming into my diet? And authentically, India has that kind of food list to help me work out. And then the next area where precision matters is gut microbiome, and the next speaker is going to do a good job into it. But looking at gut microbiome, my problem is prebiotics. In my RDs, they say that have 800 grams of vegetables, 200 grams of fruits. You and me also don't have so much fiber. Overeating of fiber also is a challenge here. So optimization of my gut microbiome is what I think the nutritionists of today are expected to do. Then the metabolomics. It's not a new area, but it's a lot of research is getting done in this. We are looking at the macros, the glucose, the fatty acids, all that as my tools to work towards my enzymes or the metabolic areas. So there's a lot to be work done in this area. The tests are not very easy to get it done. So finally, 1 or 2 slides for me to tell you that application mostly I feel is in the aging, longevity. If I want to age healthier, how do I look at collagen? How do I look at magnesium? All these supplements are in the area, but do I need it? How much do I need it? I think this is what the personalization will tell me. And of course, all the NCDs which we are handling definitely will start looking at. If you look at this, I don't know whether you can see this very clearly, this is how the genetic report looks like. I'll give you an example of one area, the detox, which I'm trying to tell you, the caffeine one. The CYP1 and GSTP1, the phase 1 and phase 2 genes, they are both good. So I can say you can have 3 to 4 cups of coffee, you can have alcohol 1 or 2 times a week. So we try to look at your detoxification status and start looking at your liver health, especially the fatty liver, which is the metabolic syndrome which is coming up. And this is also a newer area of genomics which is coming to your home, to your directive consumers. They come home, pick up your saliva, pick up your blood, they get a test done, and they give you a report of preventive genomics. So I think nutrition science is getting dynamic. We are in no more space of giving a diet chart.